of the Republic of South Africa, the Honorable Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, to talk about his relationship with Mlangeni, his contribution to the struggle and continued involvement in the political and social life of South Africa. His Excellency, Mr. President, the floor is yours to address Mlangeni and the nation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, President Thabo Mbeki, President Kgalema Motlanthe, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, General Bantu Holomisa, members of the Mlangeni family, ministers and deputy ministers, leaders of various organizations, the Alliance, and many other organizations and leaders of political parties, officers and leaders of the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, leadership of the Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, comrades and friends, and of course, our guest of honor, our hero and father, Ubabu Andrew Mlangeni Isitwalandwe Seaparangwe, who was born on this day 95 years ago. Today is indeed a celebration, but also a triumph. It is also the few who get to reach such a milestone. Baba Mlangeni, all of us who are participating in this celebration, we wish that we could be like you one day and grow up. And as I'm looking at you, I say, when I grow up, I do want to be like you and grow up to 95 and still be as healthy as you are, as sharp of mind as you are, but as a fellow golfer, still be able to hit a ball as straight as you do, always on the fairway, and always able to enjoy a beautiful walk, and a walk that is only spoiled by hitting a ball. Baba Mlangeni, we give thanks to your health and well-being and remain immensely grateful for the incalculable contribution that you have made to this country and its people. We will never be able to be in a position to thank you enough for the sacrifices that you have made. It is said that virtue is its only reward. Today we pay tribute to a man whose life has been rich, but not in the material sense, rewarding, but not with title or position, and fulfilling, but never blighted by arrogance or conceit. I know this is a day tinged with sadness because there would have been a seat reserved at this birthday celebration for Babu Mlangeni's dear friend and comrade Dennis Goldberg. Though we have all felt sorrow at his passing, we know it has been all the more difficult for you because he was your close comrade. We've become used to seeing you together at national days, at rallies, and other public events. We have all marveled at your boundless energy and enthusiasm, at your firm grasp of issues affecting our people, and at the sheer depth of your commitment to this country. Mlangeni, you've been our conscience. You may not have been aware of this, but you've been a national conscience, encouraging and supporting us where we did well and steering us back on course where we have faltered. In doing so, you've been consistent and principled. Your life has been one of struggle and immense sacrifice. We know of the young man who was forced to leave school at an early age to care for his family, about a bus driver, joined the workers' struggle and then the ANC Youth League in 1951. That is you, that has been your life. We know of the activist who was present at the Congress of the People in Kliptown in 1955, of the cadre who was sent to China for military training in 1961, and of the Rivonia trialists and a political prisoner who spent 26 years on Robben Island. Then there is also the little-known fact that you once moonlighted as a man of the cloth, as a man of religion. Very few people know that in the early 60s, when you were hunted down by the police, Babu Mlangeni instantly became Reverend Mukiti Mokoena of Dube in Soweto, replete with a certificate of priesthood. Don't even know who made that certificate for you. To be a priest, you had a collar, and you even had the gown, which we call the purapura, and masqueraded as a man of the cloth, a reverend. Maybe you could even have become a bishop, but that's what you were. Using this priestly disguise, he was able to travel across provinces to organize meetings and address MK structures. I'm told it went well, except for the time you started eating at someone else's house without blessing the food, which is a known thing about people of the cloth, that before eating, you are the very first to say, let us bless the food. You didn't. Or at the time when you lit up a cigarette, much to everyone's shock to see a man of the cloth lighting a cigarette, then you gave yourself away, that you were not really a man of the cloth, you were masquerading as someone else. Then there are the forces that shaped him, Babu Mlangeni. Babu Mlangeni was born into a world of segregation and dispossession, where the insidious effects of the 1913 Native Land Act deprived his family of their ancestral home, forcing them to live on 3 separate farms as labor tenants. Having been people who owned their own land, they were now reduced to being wanderers and labor tenants in the land of their birth. We know of the struggles that defined his early life. To obtain an education, to find employment in the city, to support his siblings, and of his grief at the loss of a father when he was still young. There are many experiences in Babu Mlangeni's life that left a deep impression on me, as told to me in many conversations over the years and relayed in his biography, The Backroom Boy. I reflect on them often, for they are a reminder of just how high a price was paid for the freedom that we enjoy today. Yet none has found greater resonance for me at this particular time than the year 1946, when he finished his schooling and had to look for work, but found himself unable to do so because he did not have a dompas. For that entire year, he recalls he lived in fear of deportation from the Transvaal back to his rural home, or worse yet, of being detained and forced to work on the potato farms in Bethal. By compelling us to carry a pass, our oppressors wanted to remind us that we were unwanted and that we were strangers in the land of our birth. And tearing our passes up and burning them and refusing to carry them, no matter what the cost, we were reclaiming far more than our right to walk the streets in freedom. You and our forebears, by refusing to carry these books, these passes, were reclaiming our very dignity. This episode has particular resonance at this time because across the Atlantic Ocean, thousands of kilometers away, the dreaded dompas has resurfaced. In the United States, our Black brothers and sisters have embarked on a massive fight to reclaim their dignity. The killing of George Floyd has opened up deep wounds for all of us. But these are the wounds that our brothers and sisters in the United States live with day in, day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. The struggles waged by you, Babu Mlangeni, and the fighters of your generation were foremost in the service of the people of South Africa. But they were also for the cause of liberation of all who suffer under tyranny and oppression. That is why we stand in solidarity with our African American brothers and sisters and express our wish that the American people can reconcile, as we did, and close once and for all the doors of racial injustice. The dignity they seek is the dignity that Babu Mlangeni has fought for his whole life. I know that it has pained him deeply to witness acts that infringe on the dignity of others. I know that seeing our children in mud schools, seeing men and women collecting water from dirty rivers, and seeing pensioners sleeping outside pension pay points have aggrieved him greatly. And he has not hesitated to speak out when necessary. It has been of great concern to him, and is a concern we share, that 26 years into democracy, we have still not fully met the developmental aspirations of our people, and that this is an affront to human dignity. The promise of a better life for all that was made in 1994 cannot be deferred. The process of historical redress, particularly on the land question, must be accelerated. The transformation of the economy must also be accelerated so that its benefits can be felt and enjoyed by all. We must address the legacy of racism that has resulted in Black people living in impoverished areas far from places of work and opportunity. We must press ahead with the policies of redress and affirmative action to bring more Black men and women into the world of work. Babu Mlangeni, you have sounded the warning many times. You have consistently and constantly reminded us that our impressive constitution means little unless the rights that it enshrines are guaranteed and are fulfilled. You have spoken at length of our responsibility as leaders of this country to meet the expectations of our people. Unless we make this a world that is truly free of the dompas of the heart and the mind, we will never be a united nation. Our guest of honor is the great link between our past and our future. In his life, we gain insight into the importance of loyalty to a cause, the virtue of selflessness, and of unwavering commitment to the upliftment of others, and not to seek benefit for oneself out of public resources. We also draw lessons on the qualities of leadership, such as bravery, honesty, empathy, humility, and being principled. President Kgalema Motlanthe has reminded us that even as you went into Parliament, you never sought for yourself any high-flying position. Humility always underpinned the way that you served our people. Before you went to prison, whilst you were in prison, even after you came out of prison. Your life has been an inspiration to me and to many others. Baba Mlangeni, we wish you the happiest of birthdays. You are a national treasure. You are a national asset. And we are thankful for your continuous presence in our public life and in the life of the African National Congress as a mentor, as a guide, and more importantly, yes, as a critic. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I quote, "Everyone has the power for greatness, not for fame, but greatness, because greatness is determined by service," close quote. You have served your country and your people well, with great distinction. May we continue to benefit from your wisdom and your counsel, and may we prove ourselves worthy of your support and your confidence. I wish you the happiest of birthdays, and may you grow old and be the seer that our country needs to give us guidance and to light the way forward. I thank you, Baba Mlangeni.
Mr. President, dear Libu, thank you very much. Well, ladies and